Hi there, welcome. Today I am sharing bits from my recent girls trip to Miami, Florida. I flew out on Thursday, January 22nd, and returned on Monday, the 26th. It was perfect timing to fly to Miami. I had actually been watching the weather in Miami since January 1st, and although the month of January was beautiful, the weekend before I went, the weather was a little bit cooler. Florida kind of had a little bit of a cold spell, and then it spiked right up for the time that I was there. In fact, it was right around 80 degrees every single day. It was beautiful and sunny, and it was perfect. I mean, perfect. And ironically, back home in Michigan and really all over the United States, or at least the whole Midwest and the east side of the United States, was having winter type weathers everywhere. It was incredible. Even northern Florida was getting some kind of cooler temperatures as well. And then right after returning home, everything, I mean, right now when I film this video, which is last Sunday, South Carolina, North Carolina, they all have snow. So I really nailed the timing that I went. I also identified that it was the perfect time for me to leave. I have found that coming off the holidays, early January, and even the first couple of weeks, I'm not really ready to leave. There's a lot to wrap up with Christmas decor and coming off the holidays. And then I always pick up in my coaching practice my clientele. I usually pick up a couple new clients because, you know, people have goals, or maybe they had it on their wish list to work with me, and you know, maybe their spouse or partner supported that. So I generally get a couple of new clients, and then my existing clients, they always want to get in with me early January, even if they are a client that works with me more on a monthly basis, which I have many that have worked with me for years, and now they're just on a monthly basis, like a check-in. They always want to get in that early January to discuss new goals, new intentions for the new year. So it's not really ideal for me to travel and be on vacation the month of January, but I felt like leaving as we were kind of getting to the end. Again, the 22nd through 26th was perfect timing. So I made a note of that. Even for next year, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go and just manage everything around that. So let me share some reasons behind how this trip transpired and why Miami, Florida. Well, my second daughter, Haley, who lives in Boston, she travels, well, at least the last couple of years, she traveled for a long weekend in January. And last year, so 2 years ago, she went to Miami. And I believe she may have had a couple of days of business where she had to travel to Miami again for her work. And she just extended her stay longer by herself. And then last year, she actually went to another bucket list of mine, the Catskills in upstate New York. Well, while she was in the Catskills last January, I was talking to her because she was just there by herself with her dog. And I was asking her, why by yourself? And I remember last year you went to Miami, Florida. And she said, well, Vin is her boyfriend, and they live together in Boston. He is gone for a long weekend every January for something to do with lacrosse. So he has a history with lacrosse. It's part of his family. and he teaches and coaches and does things with lacrosse. So she said he's always gone a weekend in January. And I said, I would love to travel next year with you for a long weekend in January. And she's like, oh yeah, let's do it. And I said, well, I would love to go to the Catskills. I said, I need someplace warm. I need someplace warm, but because it's only a long weekend, I don't want to leave the United States, and I really would like to stay on my time zone. I know, I'm that girl, Eastern time zone, because I don't want to, in such a short period of time, have to adjust to a new time zone. I don't want to fly out of the country. I just want to stay in the United States, but someplace warm. And I told Haley that I'd love to do Miami. How do you feel about doing Miami, Florida? I've never been to Miami, Florida, and I don't believe it's a place we would ever go on a family vacation, nor do I see my husband having any interest in going to Miami. Now, there are definitely places in Florida that would make a great family vacation or a trip for just my husband and I, Paul and I, but not Miami. I think of Miami as a little bit more of like a girls' trip, a fun little getaway, like for a weekend or a long weekend. So I proposed it, and I knew that Haley's been to Miami quite a few times, and we'll get into that in a moment. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. You know, I know my way around, so let's do it. So that was the plan. We just knew we were going in January and possibly tying it in with the weekend that Vin would be gone. But we also knew we had some flexibility because both Haley and Vin travel all the time. So it's not like they have to tie it in with, or she has to tie it in with his weekend. And it's just, I love how she goes solo. And last year, one of the reasons she chose the Catskills during winter, January, is because the resort that she stayed at, which is beautiful. I actually have it notepadded, kind of a pricier place, but I definitely have it notepadded. She could take the dog. So she would, that way they didn't have to board the dog or take the dog to Vin's mom's to have her watch Titus. So she just said it was drivable, and I love the area. I love upstate New York. She loves all things New York because she's a New York City girl. But that was why she chose that instead of going someplace warm. So for the first couple of months of 2025, we already knew Miami. Miami it is. I had it on the calendar, that it's going to be sometime in January. And I don't know exactly, maybe just a couple of months in, maybe like in March or something, I don't know. I said, what do you think about turning this into a girls' trip where you invite one friend and I invite one friend, and we kind of have the older ladies and the younger ladies? And she's like, I love it. And I already know who I would probably ask to go. And I said, I do too. So we shared with each other who our selection was. And it's interesting because Haley's selection is actually her best friend, who they grew up in the same county. They actually went to the same Catholic school for a while, but her friend Cece was one grade behind Haley. Then when high school rolled around, they went to different high schools, but they remained friends, although they really weren't friends in elementary school. They knew of each other because they went to the same school, but they weren't in the same class. So I don't know in high school when their friendship took off. I know there's probably stories and things around it, but Haley hung out with a lot of teens from different high schools in the area. So she had her friends from the town she grew up in. She had her friends that left the Catholic school and went to a Catholic high school. And then she had friends in another town. I mean, she just had friends in all places. She still does. She still does, and I admire that about her. I have no interest in that, but I do admire that about other people. So she was like, and here's the other thing. Her friend Cece actually lived in Miami and went to college there, went to a university in Miami. So Haley used to go back and forth and see her. So it was just kind of the perfect setup because you have these two young girls that literally know Miami. And Haley knows my taste, which is the same as hers. And I shared my friend Amy would be a perfect fit. We all love fashion, we love beauty, we love fine cuisine, we're all into fitness and health, and I just said it is perfect. We are the perfect group. So we basically went from there. I proposed it to Amy, she proposed it to Cece, and from there, we were set. We didn't exactly know which weekend. We actually didn't select our final dates until, I want to say, November, believe it or not. But the nice thing is, Haley and Cece, they already knew the places we're going or new places that have opened in Miami since their last time there. So they basically said, we will handle the whole itinerary. We will work together. And the planning process from Haley created a Google Doc, which whenever we travel with Haley, she always creates a Google Doc. Is she a lot like her mom? Yes, she is. And it is beautifully put together. In fact, maybe I will put an image in here of that Google Doc, and I save those. And she shared it with me, she shared it with Amy, she shared it with Cece. And throughout the month of December, we started talking about all of the reservations. Everyone had an opportunity to tap on the link because Haley provided links to make sure we all were on the same page, not only for the cuisine, but also the cost, because we were eating at finer dining establishments. In fact, a couple of the restaurants we ate at, these are places you would run into a celebrity. I was on a Tom Brady hunt. I'm just going to share that because Tom Brady has a place in Miami. So I was on the lookout for Tom Brady. In fact, we were at one restaurant, a dining establishment called Sonny's. Oh, amazing place. That was my and Amy's favorite meal, and we split it. Oh my gosh, incredible. We passed someone, a gentleman who was probably in his 80s, and he definitely had like an entourage around him. And Amy said, that is someone, I don't know who, it could be a designer, but he was dressed to the hilt, as was everyone surrounding him. And he even had his dog, which was a King Charles Cavalier. And, that's a pretty, luxury dog, if that's the right word. So it was just, he was someone, I don't know who, but these were definitely dining establishments that you may encounter. So a higher price point, but we were all comfortable with that. So the planning process was just perfect. And I share with you now that I have been home for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on day 6 of being home. I just have nothing but all positive things to share about this. Also, we had decided to go with a kind of a mediocre. We knew we wanted to be on South Beach, and Haley shared with me and Amy 3 different hotels that she has stayed at or was aware of, had been in them maybe to dine or go to the bar, and she just said they're different price points. So it really just depends on how much you guys want to spend. We decided on a more lower cost, not that it was low or cheap, but one of the lower cost places, and it was nice. The lobby was beautiful. I mean, and beach access, it was a perfect location. The room, we had a lot of space in our room, so Amy and I shared a room, and Haley and Cece shared a room, and we were right next to each other. And we decided right up front, I said, I am sharing a room with Amy because if we want to turn in early, you guys can still be out late. Plus, there's nothing like that, getting back even late and just chatting. I mean, Amy and I spent I want to say an hour and a half one night after returning very late to our hotel. And we laughed for like an hour and a half, and it was so cathartic. I loved it. But these were spacious rooms. They were all we needed. Going back, I would do it again, just because that's not where I wanted to put the extra money. Just my personal preference, I would rather put the money towards dining, and because that is one of the entertainment and the dining to me is an experience. Not everyone puts value there. In fact, I would say many don't, but I do, and Haley does, and it was just the perfect group. So I was happy with everything. We had a beautiful pool. We took advantage of the cabana one day where, we got food and we had a waitress. The beach was right there. We had private access to the beach. There was a little bar on the beach where you could walk up and get drinks, and this was all part of our hotel, and I'm sure all of them are that way. And we had our lounge chairs that were provided, so it was just amazing. If you missed the footage that I shared, I do have a highlight, and I'll put like a little screen share over here of the trip to Miami that has little video clips and photos. So if you just go to my Instagram, I will have a link in the description box below right to that Instagram highlight if you want to see footage, but I'll probably insert some photos in here as I talk, but that's where you're really going to see everything. I have decided to step back from taking really footage that's vlog style on a trip. I've found that when I have this intention of, and I have vlogged some vacations, what happens is that becomes a big focus, and my channel is not around travel, okay? My travel, I know you guys like to see it, but I'm often sharing on Instagram stories, and then if I'm also trying to take footage to put in a YouTube video, it just takes away from being off, being on vacation. And this is a business. You would not see me on social media. I probably wouldn't even have an Instagram account, and I'm not on TikTok even as a scroller. I am not a social media person. Ugh. It's kind of sad that it is a marketing platform for me, and it is for most people. Most of what you see is marketing of some sort. This is not a hobby. It's not where I enjoy to spend my time. So I need a break. I need to be on vacation too, and I just cannot be on. And I am so thankful for that. The other thing is, jumping out of the gate, I shared with my Instagram followers that I would not be checking direct messages. It's amazing. I get more direct messages when I am vacationing than when I'm not. And it somewhat surprises me because I'm on vacation, but I have to look at it from the viewer side, that this is exciting. They're loving this, and they're seeing so many things that are exciting that they want to reach out and share. But I communicated every single day. I literally set a timer so that at the 24-hour mark, when my stories would expire, I was back on posting that. And believe it or not, it wasn't until the day before I left that my DMs would calm down. People were starting to believe me. They were believing me for being honest with them. And it was the hardest thing. So if you reached out to me through direct message, thank you. I know your message was beautiful. It was so hard for me to be a person of my word. But at the time, 3 Week Intense was still in session. It actually ended the day that I flew home. And one of the big things that we talk about in 3 Week Intense is being a person of your word. So because that was a big message in Q1 of 3 Week Intense, I needed to honor that. I could not go back to the members of 3 Week Intense and share with them, yeah, I put out on Instagram stories that I wouldn't be taking direct messages, but then I open them. So Amy was there to watch it all. She would see me go in and just delete. So I deleted them about 3 times per day. I would go in and I would be like, this is so painful. And even she said, oh my gosh, I don't think I could do it. Because you want to reciprocate the love that you're getting. So thank you. If any of you reached out, you challenged me. And I am all about being stretched and growing as a human being. And I was definitely stretched. And I'm very proud of myself. I never opened one, you guys. I deleted every single one. It was so hard. But I was proud of myself for doing something that I didn't believe in myself to do, and for being a person of my word. And I know now how much that served me. And when I go on my next vacation, which is coming soon, a little staycation / vacation, I will be doing the same, where I don't take direct messages, and it'll be so much easier. So I share that because sometimes it just takes that initial time. I'll share something else that stretched me, but now I believe in myself, is I abstained from wine the whole trip. Yes, it was so hard. It was so hard. But I had made a decision that I am going to abstain from drinking wine at all the whole entire trip. And I committed to that, and I was so thankful for that. That doesn't mean that I didn't have drinks, but I did a different style of having drinks. And what was beautiful is I felt so good the whole entire trip, the whole entire vacation. A lot of it is I wasn't vacationing with my husband, so I didn't eat as much as I typically do with him, because everything that we got, we shared. Everything. There was never a, this is for me. Everything, every time we went to a dining establishment, we literally talked about what bites are we getting and what meals are we getting. And Haley, Amy, and I only eat fish. So that's a problem right there if you have someone who doesn't like fish. Cece likes it, but to a certain degree. And Haley can do anything, and Amy can do all of the protein sources, but I can only do fish. So a couple of the nights, they split a meal, and Amy and I split a meal, but all the bites we shared. And at dining establishments of this caliber, you don't get large portions, and everything is a la carte. So you're ordering your protein. If you wanted a vegetable with that, that is separate. And I just didn't have interest in that, although I think I did get the mushrooms at one of the dining establishments, because we just had fish. It was just a big old fish where they clean it up, they take the head off at the table, and it was a fish for 2, so it was a large amount. And I believe I asked Amy, can you do the mushrooms, because that sounds great. Amy liked to get her greens in. When I'm on vacation, I'm not super concerned about getting in greens, and I'm not a salad eater, but like a vegetable, I'm not really concerned, because I eat greens all day, every day back home. So the eating was perfect, and then not having wine, wow, I wish I could give it up forever, but I think I will on vacations, because I'm realizing now that the GI problems that I have, especially with this MTHFR gene mutation, I'm not even supposed to have alcohol, but I'm not supposed to have sugar. I'm not supposed to have gluten. I'm not supposed to have any fried foods. I'm basically only supposed to eat clean foods. I'm not willing to do that. So it's learning to live with this gene mutation and seeing what wreaks the most havoc on me. And wow, I really identified that wine is a biggie on the GI. So it's just not worth it when I'm on vacation. Back home, when I go to dinner with my husband or someone else and I have my 2 glasses, not an issue. But to do long stretches in consecutive days, I realized that wine is something I have to play with, and even with my doctor, we talked about that. And then she set me up on a kind of a cocktail list of extra supplements to take. I did have to carry my EpiPen, and I did have to take my prednisone just in case I had a flare-up. So I basically have to carry my EpiPen now with me if I'm going to have any of those foods that I'm not supposed to have. But that would be a severe case. And I've only encountered a couple times in my life where we probably would have needed that because of the shallow breathing. But I felt great. I think the cocktail mix she gave me worked really well. I forgot a couple of things that I was supposed to have before eating or drinking standard American diet food, and I still didn't have repercussions. So I just forgot about them. There was so many things. So it all worked out really well in that area. I am going to walk you through what I wore, but you'll be able to see that on my stories. And I probably won't have room in the description box below for links to everything, but if you tap that top link, it will take you to the corresponding blog post. And what I will do is for each day's outfit, I will have links. Okay, here's what I'm wearing flying. You're probably like, okay, you're going to Miami and you have a turtleneck on? Yes, I have a cashmere turtleneck sweater on. And I'm actually wearing this home. So that's how I save energy. Yes, my energy, time. So I have my Paige, I think it's Paige blazer on. I wear this to death. I really could have added it to my January things that make me happy, but it's in this video. I think I do have it linked in that video. And then I have my cashmere turtleneck sweater. This is from J. McLaughlin. It's a couple years old. These pants, I believe they're a little bit old. I doubt they're still available, from Mango. They're a little big on me. I actually bought these to be a little big just because I feel like it's worthwhile for me to have a little bit looser pants, because I do have issues sometimes when I travel with inflammation, and when you have inflammation, you just become bigger, or I do. So they're loose. Hopefully on the travel home, they're loose too. And then I just wore some New Balance sneakers that if I did need some type of athletic shoe during the trip, I would have them. I really debated on that, but I thought, if you're ever stranded for a couple of days for some freak thing, I would want to have stuff to do a workout. So I did pack. I have no intention to do any workouts, but it was more like an insurance policy for me if something were to happen. So this is the look for traveling there, and it will be the look for traveling home. I can't get back all the way to get me in, but I am on the first full day of the trip. I did not take footage of last night's look, but I did take pictures, so I will have those inserted. I'll insert them maybe here real quick so you can get a peek of those. And this is what I'm wearing on Friday. We are headed to Brunch, and then from there we are going to is it called Diamond District? I think it's the shopping area that has your luxury designer brands like Hermes, Cartier, Dior, Gucci, all the places that I love to window shop. Although I do see a purchase in my future for a luxury handbag and maybe a piece of jewelry. I have my little list going. Do you have your little list going? Let me know in the comment section below if you have an appreciation for designer. But I love this look. This is a very obviously Tracy look with the chocolate brown, the winter white. The pants are a little bit more white. They are not available. My cami is always available. It is real silk. I have it in black, this color, magenta, and navy blue. And I bought them several years ago, but they're always available, but they are real silk. So they're a timeless classic piece that you will have forever if you take good care of it, but you will have to pay the price to get it. Blazer should still be available. This is Alex and Olivia. It's one of my favorite purchases of 2025. And sunglasses, Amazon for the win. And handbag is old, no longer available. It's an LK Bennett. I will put a link to their site. And I do have on my Dean Davidson Tiger Ring, another favorite purchase of 2025. I believe these are sold out in the sizes that most people would need. I think he only has maybe like a 4 or 5 left on the site. My Rothy's flats, I don't know if they are still available, but I love these. They are like slippers, so they are perfect for walking. And because we will be walking a mile? I don't know, block or mile. We're walking to Brunch along, I think, the water area, walking to Brunch, and then we're Ubering over across to the Diamond District for the shopping, if I have the Diamond District right. Then we're going to come back here, and then we have a dinner reservation that we have to Uber to over more, not on South Beach. But yeah, is there anything else? My bracelet is my Gigi bracelet, wedding ring, my cross necklace. Oh, the earrings. Love these earrings with the gold bar and pearl. These are Amazon, so I will also have them linked. And lip cocktail is just my standard. You can get that anywhere. But yeah, this is the look for Friday. All right, not the best lighting in here, but tonight's look. So Friday evening, heading to dinner. We are going to a place called Sonny's in, I don't know which neighborhood or what they call it here in Boston. It is a restaurant that is rated, it's one of the top new, one of the top new restaurants of the year, but wearing complete monochrome, my signature color, like off-white, I call it winter white, head to toe, including shoes, bag, even my Sonny's, I did light color. The other pair from Amazon are the same ones. Kept it kind of neutral up here because I've got enough gold going on. I didn't want to overdo it, overkill with the buttons. My YSL belt. Sorry, I said Boston. I'm in what?
You're in Miami.
Oh, did I? Yeah. So I'm in Miami.
A little colder
But
there.
you know what? Boston is on my mind too because I'll be going there in a few months. Okay, heading to the beach. This is my look. Chocolate brown again with winter white. You know it. That is always the color scheme. I mean, I kind of just did a complete like capsule. I have black. I am wearing black and white tonight. So basically, I don't know if and these clips what all I've mentioned, but I have basically my whole wardrobe for Miami has been winter white, chocolate brown, and then I have black. Whites, all the whites. Combination of all the whites, the chocolate brown and black. That's just, it was easy packing. Everything's getting used and worn and I love it. But just some fun jewelry. These are the Amazon earrings. I will have them linked. The hat, old. Necklace, old. We'll look for something similar. Bracelet, old. Dean Davidson ring. But I don't think there's good sizes. If my suit and the pants, which these are almost like a sweatery. I have to watch. I have a nail. I'm waiting for Amy to get back with a file. I wanted to catch her. She had to run out before heading to the beach to take care of that nail because I don't want to snag my pants because I will. But if everything's available, it'll be linked. I love this. This is a very flattering look on me because I'm so boxy to have a belt. Okay, belt, when you are a rectangular shape, the best accessory for your body is a belt. Okay, because it gives the illusion that you have a waist, although you don't, like me. But then I think this is so flattering as well. And then it does go around, you know, the back like that. And there's straps with this. I'm just not doing the straps. Shoes are old. Sunglasses, got my Longchamp bag. My favorite. I love that. It's great for traveling. It's great for beach. It's great for daytime because you can wipe it kind of clean. I'm wearing these sunglasses. They are, I don't know if I can find these. These are the sunglasses that George Clooney's wife wore last fall when they were on some film festival. And I stalked the pictures and did some research and found these glasses. So I will see if they can be found, but if not, the Amazon ones here. I mean, this aligns with my colors more because it's more chocolate, but I kind of wanted to wear something different. So I was thinking about wearing these. Let's put them on. They don't look as good. They don't look as good on me, I don't think, for my face shape, but I think they're a little more fun for the vibe that I have going on. Okay, this is Saturday dinner's outfit. Just a white blazer, silk camisole, leather shorts. I just do plan to wear a kitten heel. I ordered some sling back ones and they are not here yet. So, but this is what I'm thinking. And then this bag is what I'm planning. Now, you know I'm not a big shopper. Most of my wardrobe is classic, timeless pieces. So what I will do is if something is no longer available because it literally is old, okay, it's old, I've had it for a while, years probably, I will put where it's from or the label. So for example, if it's something that I bought from Mango, I will put old from, and then I will have the Mango site. That may introduce you to a site you've never shopped. The other thing is I place a lot of emphasis and value on my clothing, so I spend more on pieces, but they are classic, timeless. You probably see me wear a lot of the same things. I have a signature look. I have a signature style. I believe we all do. It's just, is your signature look and style one that you're happy with? If I say, think of your best friend right now. When you think of her, you can picture her. And you don't picture her naked. You picture her. You picture her hair, you picture her face, and you picture her body and what she's wearing. Well, how you picture her is her signature look. So it may be sweatpants or it may be black leggings. It could be whatever, but that is her signature look. And you have one and I have one. And pretty much everything I wore on this trip, which I was so thrilled with, was so true to me. And it really is my signature style, my signature look. A lot of whites and off-whites and chocolate brown, and I peppered in some black. So I just was thrilled with everything I wore, everything I packed. I loved it, just thrilled. So a common thing with me when I travel by airplane is I will try to wear the same outfit there as I do home, and I find that that saves me an outfit. And I did that for this trip, and perfect. I mean, I nailed it. But I really put a lot of thought into each outfit. And the beautiful thing, when you have an itinerary and you know your day, you know what time. So we already knew Thursday, the day of arrival, Haley and Cece would already be at the hotel. She said they'll probably be down at the pool because they were getting there hours before us. In fact, they got there early enough to go to brunch. We already knew we weren't doing a dinner. We knew that Amy and I wouldn't get to the hotel until early evening, about 5:30. I think we got there around 5. And it was a day of flying. But I was ready for the day. We were ready for the day. All we had to do was change into our evening outfit, and we were just going out for bites and drinks, but it did turn into dinner because we ended up just doing drinks. We ended up doing martini flights, which was so cool. We each did a martini flight, and then we went up to the rooftop and we had dinner there, which was a potential. So again, this is where Haley and Cece, especially Haley, she's the one that kind of curated it, but she would talk to Cece because they knew all the places. So we knew like how we wanted to dress, and then I paid attention to the weather. The other thing that we did was we communicated. So when I would try on an outfit leading up to the trip, like 1-2 weeks out, I would take some footage of me in that outfit, and then I would send that off to Amy, and I would send it off to Haley, and if Cece wanted it, she'd send it off to her. When Cece took pictures of herself in her outfits, she sent them to Haley, and Haley sent them off to us. So literally, and everyone would put, this is what I'm wearing on this day, this is what I'm wearing on this day, this is what I'm wearing on this day. I think Haley and Cece and I, we just brought exactly for that. We didn't bring any backups. Amy packed backups because she just wasn't sure. She was like, and that's great. I think most women will do that. That is, if I have an itinerary, I don't need to do that, especially if I'm watching the weather, and I'm always going to have blazers. I took 3 blazers. So being cold usually isn't a fear of mine because I know better. So again, so happy, but yes, wore the same outfit there. And then what I will do is I will walk you through each of my outfits. I tried to take footage of each outfit while at the hotel. It was wonderful because one of our walls in our room was all mirror. The lighting wasn't the best, but it was all mirror, so it was perfect. The only time I couldn't take footage in the room was Saturday, because by the time we were done with the beach and the pool, and then we wanted to walk down to this amazing place that we ended up going to a couple of times down the strip, to see if we wanted to keep our brunch reservation, because Haley and Cece had never been to this place, or maybe it was new since the last time they were in Miami. So after we left, we started at the beach, then we went to the pool because we had the cabana. Then we walked down to check it out and have a drink at the bar just to see if we liked the vibe and if we would want to hold our brunch reservation for the next day, which we did. Here's another thing that I do that most people don't, and I get why they don't, but you have to know what serves you. I get fully ready in the morning for the day. So even if it's a beach and pool day, I know how the day gets away, and I don't want to miss out on any fun. So on Saturday morning, which was our beach and pool day, and then we did have a later dinner, so our dinner reservation was at 7, I get up and I get fully ready. I know you may be out. I mean, you can always go in and wash up your body if you're super sweaty or have stuff on, and often if needed, that's what I will do. But I get fully ready. And even Amy said, "Oh, are you going to get fully ready?" And I said, "Yes, but don't feel you need to. Just stay in your lane, stay in your row, stay in your box." It's weird, it's bizarre, but I said, I take longer than Haley and Cece to get ready, guaranteed. They can whip it together in 5 minutes and look amazing. I can't. I want time, and I know the look that I want when I go out, so I just get ready first thing in the morning. And luckily, the type of makeup I wear will last all day. That is just, I have always done my makeup in a way that will last all day. If I wanted to quickly just curl my lashes a little more or enhance something, that's all I need to do. So I was ready for the day. Amy did what everyone else does. They just go with no makeup, whatever. I'll shower and get ready later. But this is where I love that I do this, and it's just years of knowing and having children. I think having a large family too, I just knew I'm the mom here. I have to get them ready. When we get back from the beach, I have to get all my little girls, my 5 little girls, ready to go to dinner. I don't have time for me. So I just get ready first thing. And so when we left the pool and Haley and Cece said, let's walk down and check out Tala Beach, where we're going to possibly have brunch tomorrow, I was able to go where Amy had to go back to the room. So she had to miss out on that. And even when I got back to the room, we had 5 minutes. Haley said, Mom, you have 5 minutes to change. I mean, I was taking off stuff as I was walking into my room, and Amy was still in her robe. And I'm like, we're leaving in 5 minutes. So there is value. I mean, definitely do your thing, but I do believe really think through when you're vacationing what type of time you're going to have, because we had 5 minutes. So I didn't have time to take footage of my outfit. But the beautiful thing is about a week and a half or 2 weeks before going on our trip, or maybe a few days, I took footage at home and I shared, and I was able to share that with everyone. So I have that footage to share with you, and you'll see that in the Instagram highlight. Again, you have to go there. Oh my gosh, so much great stuff there. You just don't want to miss it. Now let me share this too, and please don't take this the wrong way. We all have a preference of where we vacation. Some places for me are a one and done. One time is all I need. Nashville, Tennessee was a great trip. Paul and I went for our 25th wedding anniversary. It was one and done. I knew that I loved that trip, but I knew right away, oh, this is nice. This is a one and done. Vegas, Las Vegas, one and done. I'm not a gambler. Vegas was great. There's lots of other things to do, but I was like, great, one and done. Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, Cape Cod, no, not one and done. I could go every year. I love that area. I love. And even some of the places on my bucket list up into New England, I plan to do all of Maine. That's a bucket list. We're thinking that's going to be 2027. I want to do Stowe, Vermont, New Hampshire, all of that. Newport, Rhode Island, I could go there again. I want to do all the Connecticut, all of the East Coast, the New England area. There's a lot to see there. Charleston, South Carolina, loved Charleston and actually love it. Well, I would say it would be a one and done, but I literally said this would make a great family getaway, like a long weekend family getaway. And we may be doing that actually. It's being discussed because Haley hasn't been there. Vin has been to Charleston. Haley has not, nor has the other kids. I will actually probably be in Charleston coming up next March, maybe for just one night, one dinner out. I don't know. We will be right there. We are going and we're visiting friends that live just across the bridge from Charleston. So we'll probably go into Charleston one of the nights we're there for dinner. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a one and done, but if it's just Paul and I, we won't go back to Charleston because there's so many other places to go. But it's a place that I think the kids would enjoy. So that will be another trip. Other than that, it would be, although I loved it. Sedona, I loved Sedona, but it was a one and done. Now Scottsdale is on my radar, and I did want to hit Scottsdale when we were in Arizona, but we weren't the ones, orchestrating all the places that we go to. So Scottsdale is a possibility next January. There's also a PGA golf tournament every single January. I can't remember what it's called. It's not, maybe the Phoenix Open? I'm not sure. I think it's actually going on right now. We may tie it in with that. And I've been watching, believe it or not, the Scottsdale weather for like the last 2 weeks, just kind of planning for maybe it being next January. and it's beautiful. It's like 75, low 70s, mid 70s, perfect. And then we would stay on longer because my dad and stepmom have a place, and they would come pick us up when we're done with Scottsdale, and then we would go spend maybe a week with them and be away for the winter. So winter season, so we can be someplace warmer. So Miami, one and done. I knew that we were in the Uber. Amy and I were in the Uber, and I'm looking out, and I'm just kind of going, okay, this is kind of what I thought of Miami. And then we go down to South Beach, and we're not out we're by the water, but we're in South Beach. And I still, when he pulled up at the hotel, I just thought, I think this is probably going to be a one and done. So I loved it. I think it's a great place to go with your girlfriends. I don't know about men. Again, Paul, I said right away, not for Paul. Not his jam. There are places definitely in Florida that I still would like to go to and that I know Paul would love, but not Miami. And even Haley said, yeah, this is not a Vin trip. And she said it wouldn't have been my pick. I've been to Miami so many times for business and for pleasure. But she said, I know you've never been here, and the fact that this isn't a place you and Dad are going to go. So she was like, and I know my way around. So it was perfect. I loved it. I had so much fun. And don't get me wrong, I loved it. And I loved shopping the design district with all of the stores. And I did come home with souvenirs. I say souvenirs only from one place. The only downside of the day that we went, so Friday, we had brunch at Sassone's, I think it's called. Beautiful. Loved it. Such a great place. So we walked 1.5 miles to our brunch, and then we Ubered from there over to the design district. And this is where like your Hermes, your Gucci, Chanel, Prada, Dior, Jacquemus, Bottega Veneta, all your luxury designers, where you basically Cartier, you're escorted in the store. So you get in line and you wait your turn for your group to be escorted around. And I knew that's where I wanted to go. And I did have a budget if I wanted to tap into it. And I'm very, very discerning. So I would not buy just to buy, but we ended up going to the Dior Cafe and having cappuccinos and croissant, and we had a couple of drinks like mimosas, bellinis. It was really fun. I mean, wait till you see the highlight. You're just it's all in the highlight. You've got to watch the highlight. And then the first stop was Hermes, and we were in line for a while. And I was really pumped about this because I have been wanting an Hermes silk scarf forever. Something that I'm a scarf girl. You already know, signature style. Tracy wears a lot of neck scarves. I have forever. If you go back, way back. So I've wanted one for so long, but I knew I've been on the website. This is something I need to purchase in store, and I want it to be when I'm on a vacation. And the ideal would be with my one daughter who knows about Hermes. Like, she knows what Hermes is. And yeah, she was the one. This was the daughter that was the perfect daughter to be with me. And as soon as we walked in to Hermes, they ask, what are you shopping for? And, I just said, well, I'd love to look at your silk scarves, and I'd also love to look at your belts. So there upstairs we go. And because I think it was 3 floors. So we had to go to the second floor for the scarves. And Haley looked at me and she said, Mom, I love that you are looking at the scarves. She said, you have been talking about an Hermes silk scarf to me for years. And even when the lady asked me, the representative, Z was her name, she had said what size. And I knew, I've done enough research. I was like, I want the 90. I want the traditional. I want the 90. I have enough Twilly sized, Twilly is the small one. I have plenty of, not Hermes, but affordable Twilly sized scarves. And so, and the other thing is I really like the scarf rings, so I already knew I was going to look at those. And then after I selected a scarf, it was the perfect one. I did not feel influenced by the girls at all. That is one thing about me, is you will not influence me. I know what I like, and I just tune it out if I need to, but no one was overpowering, and they were cheering me because literally Haley said, I've been listening to this for like 3 years. Finally, my mom is pulling the trigger, like finally. You know, that's what it takes with me. I really think things through. That's why I never have guilt in the pieces or shame in the pieces that I purchase, because they are so thought through, and I have the money. This is not credit card stuff. I don't need to pay this off later, so I wouldn't buy it if I did, and that's fine for other people, but anything I do, if the money isn't up front, it doesn't happen. So we left there, and she said, let's go up to floor number 3. I talked to Z, and I told her, I'm not a logo girl. I said, I'm very uncomfortable with flashy logos. I said, I have a few designer pieces or luxury pieces. Belts is a big thing for me. That's the other thing. I would say my two staples that you will see me spend money is usually like a scarf, like an accessory like that, and I love belts. And if you are a rectangular person, they always say your accessory piece is a belt, because we need belts to cinch us in to give us more of that hourglass shape. If you're starting to hear a little bit of a noise in the background, I don't know if my mic is picking that up, but that is Paul. He just jumped on the treadmill. But look at the packaging, you guys. So then we did head up to belts. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I will share, I think I'll find these on the website, and then I will link the scarf ring. Oh my gosh. And then I think it's called the Kelly belt. It's adjustable. But I had shared, like right away I saw the belts that have like the H. It makes me think of like the Gucci belt when that was really a hot item, which I feel like luxury pieces are never out, but that's just not me. And that doesn't mean I judge anyone who loves it. Like, you're not gonna love what I bought, right? But I just said, I am an understated. I don't want bam in your face. Even my handbags, I like non-logo heavy stuff. It is just me. I'm understated as it is. I like timeless, classic. Where I live, no one really knows what Hermes is, to be honest with you. So they wouldn't know anyway. I mean, I would be surprised where it just in the area that I live in. So it's not like anyone's ever going to know, but it's just something about me. I do put value in it because these are pieces that I can pass down. So I have a document that is saved for my daughters. They know it's in my Google Docs. All of my kids have my passwords to get into Docs if something ever happened to me. And I have a document with any luxury pieces I've purchased, what I paid for them, the date, what it's called. I will put a link when I go, if that may not be active, who knows, and also where I have the paperwork stored. So when I'm not here, they get to decide. You know, for example, my goal is to have 5 pieces of jewelry that I can pass down to my children. And I have my cross necklace. I have diamond stud earrings that were just gifted to me. And these were on my bucket list. Diamond stud earrings that were gifted to me at Christmas time. They are 2 carat total weight. I didn't want to go too big because I didn't want the weight turning down. So it's 1 carat in each ear. And then the Gigi bracelet here, which is an add a diamond. So I will be adding a diamond this year when I have another grandbaby. And then I have a watch, a couple watches on my radar, but I have some pieces on my radar. Let me know if you would like me to do a video where I talk about my jewelry collection from my timeless classic pieces, my thoughts around that, and then even like my statement pieces. So one thing about my signature style is you'll almost always see a statement ring, but you don't see statement everything else, which is my style. I don't want all the facade going on. I like simple and subtle, but at times. So you'll even see when you watch my stories, the day that I was wearing my gorgeous one-piece swimsuit and the pants. Oh, love that with the belt. That I had a lot of jewelry going on because that fit that look. That fit that look. So I do believe there's a time and a place for it, but it depends on the look. But for every day, I'm just kind of simple and all of that. But I like to look for pieces that I can pass down to my daughters or grandchildren, and I want them to know the value. And if they decide to do resale and sell it and get that money, that's great. But that's how I look at it, as investment pieces. So thrilled about that. I just love the packaging. Oh my gosh. But I will look for them on the website and share them with you. So is there anything else? The only thing I will share is I wish we had more time. So we had to get changed, and the Uber was picking us up, I think at like 5 for a 5:30 dinner reservation that night. That ended up being a really late night. We ended up at a club that Cece was able to get us into, where you have to be dressed appropriately, and yeah, we just, all of that's on the stories, so you'll have to go there. Everything will be linked, and again, if I don't have a link, there's a reason for it, but I will put the site that it's from. Believe me, if it were available, I'd put the link in, because that would be the ideal, but not everything is. I also want to talk about the fragrance that I took with me, and oh my gosh, this could be a whole video in itself. So hold on, let me go get something. So another thing that I love is perfume, but I don't wear it often because I only get ready about 2 days per week, and I don't wear perfume just on a normal day that I don't get ready with hair and makeup. And I love Creed, which is a niche line of, it is a niche fragrance perfumer or whatever that's been around since 1760. I haven't read the whole story on Creed, but this is a lovely, lovely fragrance line. But it is not cheap, okay? It is a niche, and you will pay for it. Well, they came out with this beautiful discovery set before the holidays, and I just said, I love so many of the Creed fragrances that this is a beautiful lineup. And it's beautiful because you can travel with these as well. They are small enough. They are 1.0 ml. And so I picked this up, and I just love it. I need to do a purchases I made in 2025 that made me happy. You know, I recently shared 10 things that made me happy in the month of January. If you missed that video, I'll have it linked. And then I even asked, would you like me to do this as a monthly segment? And so many of you said yes, because it's the most random things. It could be glass water bottle makes me happy, right? It could be, you know, I literally shared Velcro roller made me happy. I could say this comb made me happy in February. So I've already started, well, it is February, so I already have the list going, but purchases that I made in 2025 that made me happy, because this is one of them. And just the packaging. I will save packaging. I have a lipstick box over there because I love the packaging. So I did take one of these, more of an evening scent. Royal Princess Oud is the one that I took with me on the trip, and I can tell because it's the one that's been used the most. Adventus for her has been used quite a bit too. I've used all of them. But again, this will last me a long time. Well, so Victoria Beckham has, you know, her fashion line, and now she does beauty and all of that. And I've always loved the Beckham family, and I've always loved Victoria Beckham. I've never watched her show or anything on Netflix because I don't watch anything, but she came out with 4 fragrances, and she did her own little discovery set. Well, because I had bought the Creed, I was like, I don't need anymore. So I did order the hand cream collection, which is of her 4 fragrances, but in a hand cream. And I have only tried 2, and they are amazing. Well, when I ordered this, again, how amazing is the packaging? When I ordered this, love that, a sample for the Portofino 97 came with it. And I've heard some people share that's their favorite scent, but I've heard other people share other ones are their favorite. And I know that I'm going to know if I like them or if I don't, and what will be my favorite. So I decided to pack my Creed Royal Princess Oud. I packed that, but I decided I'm going to throw this in along with the hand cream, because I already know I like the hand cream, but I like the other one I tried too. And I've actually used the, what is it called? The yellow one I've actually used more than the blue one, and I have not tried the other 2. So I packed this as well. And I think I didn't actually spray it on until Saturday night, right? Yeah, so Thursday and Friday, I wore my Creed. Saturday, I sprayed this on, and I literally had a deja vu back to my, hold on, Miu Miu by Parada. Now this is hard to get. I think you can still get it from Miu Miu, the website, but department stores, it's really hard to get. Who remembers this from when I first started my blog in like 2016 maybe? 2014? No, 2011? Was Kirsten in high school? 2010? I don't know. This scent, this fragrance made me so happy. Every time I wore it, I just was in heaven. I still am. And there's still some in here. I love the packaging. I don't want to let it go. I don't want to use it up. But I would say it is more of a spring summer scent, like a summer scent. So I still wear it in the summer, and when I do, I feel good. I feel happy. I feel so good in my skin the days that I wear this. And I have this little roller ball that was gifted to me one time. So I love this fragrance. I will never ever get sick of this. There is something in it, and it is amazing. Victoria Beckham's Portofino 97 doesn't smell like this, but it gives me the same feeling that this gave me. I literally had a deja vu to the feeling that it gave me. So, but I can't justify coughing up the money to buy it. So what I did, and it's not here yet, but it has shipped because I saw it this morning. I ended up buying the discovery set of these, of the fragrances. So now I will have the fragrances, and I will have the hand creams that go with it. And then at checkout, I could pick a sample of any one of these, and I got a sample of this because I don't want to not have that feeling. So if I'm going to have more, although I may love the other ones just as much, this one's a shoo-in. So I got the sample of that one. So I will have links to all these, but let me know in the comment section below if you can relate to a scent that you couldn't have a bad day wearing it. I mean, this is what I put on today. Now, again, love my Creed. I would say this is more spring, summer. So I did spray it on today, but I'm just going to put this away. I'll probably travel with it though. I'll probably take this when I'm gone. I leave the end of February, and I'll be gone for a couple of weeks because I am going to hopefully warmer weather. Not quite Miami, but hopefully a little warmer to get out of these conditions. But it will be perfect for that, or in the summer. where these are going to be a little bit more mature smelling, more richer, and I do love them, but there's something about this that takes me back to the feeling that I had with this. So that could have been a whole video in itself, but I love to share. You know how genuine I am. When I love something, there's no fluff. Nothing is being sent to me. I do not receive anything that's PR. I mean, the last thing I received PR was Smashbox primer, and I don't even know why it was sent to me, because that's not what my channel is about. But yeah, so there's some great fragrance, and even if you just get the little sample thing, it's pricey. I think it's worth it because I'm not going to pull the trigger on a costly bottle, and also perfume lasts me forever. I actually keep it stored here in my filming room because it's in the basement where there's not going to be as much maybe fluctuation, where, you know, the main floor in the summer it could get warmer because I'm not an air conditioning girl. So just to keep everything preserved, and I love keeping it kind of in its packaging. So I think that's probably everything. Again, check out the Miami Instagram highlight. If you don't, you're missing out on that. And what else? Couple of just housekeeping. Don't forget, we ended Q1 of 3 Week Intense. Registration is open for Q2. And we start, Q2 starts Monday, April 13th. It runs for 3 weeks, 21 days, and we end on Sunday, May 3rd, 1 week before Mother's Day. So perfect time to start implementing some better habits going into the spring and summer. So I encourage you to join that. And then also, don't forget about the program that I launched this year, Come As You Are. The first month that we are meeting is this month, February, and that is Sunday, February 15th. There will be a link in the description box below to get more information on Come As You Are, but this is just basically a time for me to connect with you on a deeper level. We can talk about anything you would like, whatever's weighing on you, whatever you're carrying today in this season of life, and you may need to unpack it with a professional coach like myself. Bring that. You just want to be with other women. Maybe you long for relationships. And hey, we may not be able to do it in person. So this is a great way. So many wonderful women that are clients of mine or have taken part in my programs, I have gotten to know them on such a deeper level. And that is why God placed it on my heart to offer this wonderful meeting that will be held one Sunday per month all throughout the year until November, taking December off. If you want more of me and you want more of me on a deeper level, I'll share with you. I don't share everything on here, and I won't. And that does not impress me one bit when people do. I think there is an element of privacy. I think we protect that. And looking back now, there's a lot of things I wish I would have protected more, but I certainly will moving forward. So if you want those more behind the scenes of me and you want me to know more about you, then that's the place to be. Direct messaging me and trying to create and cultivate a relationship there, that's great intention, but I'm offering it in real mode. And I think that's what a lot of women are longing for, and they're trying to pepper that in, but it doesn't work that way. We need to be working together, and I offer ways for you to connect with me on a deeper level that's not working with me, where you're not tied into a pricey coaching package. I am offering these so that I can spend more quality time with women like you. So thank you for being here. Let me know in the comment section which look I wore that you loved the most, or if there's anything that you're going to pick up because of what I shared. Just little thoughts that you have. Watch the Instagram stories highlight first before you leave a comment, because I'd love to hear just thoughts on it. Have you been to Miami? What did you think? Would you go back? And do you think it's more of like a great girls trip? Get it out there so that we know where to go. It's funny because I shared a couple of other places that, well, here's the other thing. We already decided we could literally do this every year. We could do an annual trip every January. We literally could. Will we? I don't know. We all travel so much, and I know for me, and I think these ladies as well, there's only so much I can spend in one given year with travel. And I still have a couple of more daughters that are getting married, and that will require some travel. So we don't know. I have things on my radar, but I do have my bucket list places to go. And it's interesting because as much as my daughter Haley travels all over the world, I mean, it's incredible all the places she has been under the age of 30. She will be 30 next month. It is incredible. I shared a couple places that are on my bucket list, and one of them I think is a girls' trip, but it would be a very costly trip, and it would be a different time zone. And she said, that's so funny, that's on my bucket list too. And then another place that I mentioned that's on my bucket list, I said, it'd be a great girls' trip, but Dad would want to go. And she's like, Vin would want to go there too. So then I said, okay, well, we may have to do it as a, as a couples thing. We'll see. But yeah, I definitely have places on my radar. Another place I love that is not a one and done is New York City. I love New York City and I love Boston, but I'll have plenty of trips to Boston, having a daughter there, and plenty of trips to New York City because she is just a train ride away and she's always in the city. So she's always like, just come on out for a couple days, Mom, fly in. I'll meet you. So it was the best time, and there was just nothing like having your daughter there, and then her best friend, and then one of your friends, your best friend. Just nothing like it. It was so great. Amy and I had so much fun, so many memories. I nailed it with who I asked to go. So, and I'm not a girls trip, like a group girls trip person. I'm a just one friend. I don't want two or three. It was perfect. It was perfect. So as you can tell, I'm still glowing. So, all right. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking it out and watching. I love you guys. And thank you if you sent me a direct message and you stretched me. You stretched me. It was so hard. It was so hard because I would see names that I recognize or clients and I would be like, delete. But I had to do it. And I feel really good about being a person of my word. So I encourage you today, go out there and be a person of your word to you. Communicate, be a good communicator, but be a person of your word to you. Mwah! Much love, my friends. I'm so thankful for you. I was so thankful for this vacation. I'm so thankful for Haley and Cece and Amy and Miami and all the wonderful places that we were at. It was incredible. All right, we'll see you next week. Be sure to check out my recent videos and let me know if you want me to do a video on jewelry and my thoughts around it, my pieces, what's on my radar, because I'll be happy to share all the things. All right, take care, my friends. Love you. Bye-bye.